Well, it's been a minute since we had a chat. You guys want to chat? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the group. Welcome back to the page. I appreciate you guys all. It's been a minute since we sat down and had a little chat, so I put together some notes for you guys and figured we'd do a little bit of a rundown. You guys see some more activity here lately, and so I just wanted to kind of give everything a shout out and get in your heads and let you guys get in my head. So in this video we're gonna talk about some community topics. It's gonna be based around the community. We're gonna talk about the community versus the shop page, our community bylaws versus our etiquette. I'm gonna go over some future events, trail runs, cleanups. We're going to talk about the new trail adoption in the Tillamook State Forest with Oregon Department of Forestry. I'm going to run over kind of a brief description and a brief run through of what I think the community and group was all for and what this was all about. I'm also going to ask for some of your help at the end of this video. We're going to talk about club affiliations and administrators, and then also invites to the group events, notifications, and just a general who and why and what I did this all for. So I appreciate you guys being here. Well, first things first, I'll start off with community topics. First thing I want to do is I want to talk about our community, what I consider to be our community versus my shop work, my shop page, and that sort of thing. So for those of you that don't know, I run Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures, obviously, but attached to my website, I do have a website for everyone. Attached to that is my Facebook page, which I use as one of my social media platforms to reach you guys with the work that I do here in the shop. Through my extracurriculars over the years, I've developed a community connection with a lot of different car cultures and automotive cultures. Through that and because of that, we attached a group to the page. So now there's a Facebook page for us to share our work, and then there's a Facebook group that's attached to the page that enables you guys to participate as a community with one another and join events and come out and overall kind of connect and really what it was about was culture for me, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. The community bylaws versus our etiquette. I do a really good job, as far as I'm concerned, at making sure that you guys don't have to sign any concrete bylaws. I've been a part of a lot of different clubs and even some Facebook groups and yada 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 that really want you to adhere to a strict set of guidelines or rules or bylaws to be a participant or a member in the group. I've found that through my years to be a little much, especially when a vast majority of the members out there, with as much as the sport and culture has grown over the last few years, that just want to be casual members. They don't want to have to be held to some sort of strict rules and guidelines. And so I put out an etiquette guideline for you all. Basically, the etiquette guideline is that this is a community formed to bring like-minded people together, so that we can have a small private group environment, but have a public place to share our pictures and connect with one another. It's not a place for rib jabbing, banter, politics. We want this group to be formed around like-mindedness, character, community, learning, and overall general and fun. And so I kind of just had left that out there. When you become a member of our group, I just ask you to read over that pinned post and make sure that that's something that you think you can follow. And if it is, by all means join the group and come on out. I do want to talk about member retention a little bit, but we'll come back to that topic here in a little bit. Club affiliations and collaboration events. I'd like to talk about that for just a quick moment. When I formed this community and formed Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures, one of the reasons why I did this is because I had been a part of this community for a lot of years, and I had been asked by multiple groups, multiple organizations, clubs, to come help them do what they do. I went down that path for several years as an independent person, just kind of a small business owner. I'm just working on the side and I'm trying to do my extracurricular club thing. And for me personally, more often than not, almost every time I would go out on an extracurricular, to a car show, trail run, camp out, whatever the case may be, people figure out what I do for a living, which is a pretty diverse set of skills, and inevitably want to discuss something with me further beyond our campfire conversation or driver meeting conversation, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what formed the Outdoor Adventures part of my automotive restoration company. My bread and butter comes from the restorations, from the paint work, from the work that comes out of the shop. All of the community and club, YouTube, Facebook, that kind of stuff is all extracurricular that I just do to connect you guys and to outreach for, market and outreach for my shop. Because of that, it makes it really hard for me to work with other groups and other clubs and other affiliates, municipalities, even sometimes private entities. You got to do things by committee. You got to take everybody's opinion into consideration. And for me personally, one, I got trust issues. I've been doing this for a long time and I've been burnt a lot. Number two, I just don't want to be put in a position anymore of having to have a confrontation when things don't come eye to eye, and you've got to have that moment of sit down, by committee, let's figure this out and see what the best case to move forward is. I take full responsibility for what I do, and I also, face it, I march to the tune of my own drum, and I think I know how to do this stuff right, and I really don't like to confront y'all via networking and collaborations. And so I don't really want to present to the community or to you guys that I'm trying to work with a bunch of other people, that I'm trying to grow this community, or that I'm using it as marketing, like I just said. Like, I literally have split and divided this up to where we can go out and have fun, and I can hang my banner and you guys can follow me on my stuff and know who I am as a person and what kind of work that I do, and then networking with my mutual friends and form relationships on your own. Like, the marketing part of it is honestly a true byproduct of what I just generally do with my life. This isn't a Ride Revival in the morning, John Parmenter at night, community in the middle. I'm going to talk to John here on the side and see if he wants to go camping. Like, you guys got to realize that when I started Ride Revival, I literally flipped a switch, and that switch was that I am one thing from start to finish. By the time my eyes open or the time my head hits that pillow, I am Ride Revival. Ride Revival is John Parmenter, and John Parmenter runs the community that is founded by Ride Revival. So this is all intermixed for me. So I take it very seriously. I apply pressure. I have vision, I have goals, and like I said, this is a lifestyle and an all-encompassing thing for me. I don't get to go home at the end of the weekend and say I'm just going to go back to work and me and my club mates will figure this out at a later date. Like, this is my entire life. So with that, we move into open invite campouts. I'm getting ready to post actually an open invite campout, and it's been a little bit since we did that and tried to get you all to come out and come together. This open invite campout is going to be a informal sign hanging for our new trail in the TSF, working with Oregon Department of Forestry. We'll talk about that aspect of this here in a little bit. But what I do want to make a few points here for me. You guys have kind of heard me talk about how this is all extracurricular and it's not my bread and butter. I don't get anything extra from it. I I do enjoy the hell out of it, and don't get me cross on what I'm about to say, so please take it with a grain of salt, if you all know what that means. Just trying to be honest and on Front Street, like you all have told me multiple times that you appreciate from me. So I'm going to reciprocate that, and just bear with me, okay? Because of our etiquette and we don't have bylaws, one of the things that I really founded this group upon, what I'm really looking forward to leveraging and applying some pressure to, is the helping and learning in camp, investing into the lifestyle when needed, sharing amongst one another, posting, tagging, communicating after, and I'm really looking forward to doing some open group stuff, and then also privatizing some of our larger events. So, you know, there's been this aspect of when I go out there, like a lot of people aspire, and you know, or I create aspirations. Me and my family create aspirations. And you guys come out and you're like, man, these guys really got their shit together and they know what they're doing, and like, I want to come hang out with these guys because, you know, for multiple reasons, right? But I found myself in multiple occasions during these events feeling like that I'm the caterer to the event, and I never really wanted or intended it to be that way. Now I know that during the startup process of any community or any group or any friendship, there's going to be that kind of thing go on, right? Well, my community's been existing for 6 years now, and some of you guys have been there since its inception, or not too long after its inception. We've all kind of went through the COVID thing, and we're all trying to kind of force ourselves back into it and get this momentum kind of built back up, just getting in the car and getting out there, right? Like, me and my wife have been struggling with that too. So, but anyway, what I'm getting to is that I found myself in a situation to where I feel like that nobody's really learning anymore, and nobody's really, you know, trying to go out of their way to take the next step in this evolution to get to where, you know, they aspire, you know, where I'm at, basically. What I'm saying is, you know, don't come out with the mentality of, well, I'm missing an axe and I don't have a camp stove, but I know that, you know, John's got one. That's probably fine if you use the community to communicate that with people amongst the community and amongst the event. And I don't mean by sending me a PM, because there's only so much that I can do with 5,000 of y'all. If you post on the community and on the pages and on the forum, that gives everyone in the community an opportunity to get used to one another, see where the shortcomings are, see what we can do to help, learn, grow, that sort of thing. Firewood. A lot of people bring firewood and kind of rely upon being able to find a firewood stand, and I've always brought a chainsaw with me. I grew up splitting wood, cutting wood, going into the woods and looking for the right trees, so the dry ones, the seasoned ones versus the wet ones, which season do they get cut down from. I would love to teach you guys all that and the reasoning behind it and why we do it and the ins and the outs, and then show you literally how that makes your body feel at the end of the weekend. Like, everybody considers it work until you get home at the end of the weekend and you feel like Hercules. Trust me. So I'd like you guys to come out with the mentality of getting better and connecting with people and that sort of a thing. It's a big burden on me and my family to go out and put everything into it to coordinate the event and get our stuff together and make sure we get out there early and get the spot. And then it makes it hard for us to enjoy and film and document and network with everyone when, you know, we got to turn around and worry about the fire going out, or if there's going to be firewood there in the morning, or if we got to, you know, pick up trash or, you know, take care of ruts, or, you know, there's a plethora of things that go into it as an event coordinator, and I'm sure you guys can start to use your imagination on that side of it. So I'm asking for some help from you guys. If you see an open public invite event, I'd love for you guys to come out. But I also am doing this to try to help teach you guys and network with you guys and get you guys to, you know, come together and not just come out and hang out with me in the weekend and then pack your stuff, go home, and then that's the end of it. That's not really what I derived this community to be built around. So I could use your help there. We're going to do some trail runs. Those may be day trips, those may be overnight trips. I'm going to be better about, and I've kind of lost this in as the sport has grown. I want to be better about doing driver meetings every time we do a trail run, so that way we can go over gear and tech inspections and vehicle builds, and people have an opportunity to raise their hand and say, hey, my name is this and I've only been out this many times. Also, I'm going to get better about inserting a day leader, which usually is always me, as you guys know, but a tail gunner, maybe a mid gunner, and also taking a look at, like we said, the vehicle build, so that way we can get the winches staggered, we can get the 31s behind the 33s, behind the 35s, 40s in the front, one guy 40s in the rear. We can stagger our group out to make sure that, you know, everything's copacetic throughout the day and everybody fits in where we fit in. And I've kind of lost that because I get so comfortable and used to the fact that everybody's so seasoned, but that's not the case anymore. Y'all haven't been doing it as many years as I've been doing it, and y'all's rigs aren't built like my rig is built, and you might not, even if it is, you might not use it like I use mine. So I'd like to get better about that with you guys. And also at the same time, I'd like your guys' help with trying to teach the other guys and the evolution. If, you know, you come out and have fun and you're just not quite there yet and you know you need the bigger tires, we'll go home and save for the bigger tires. You know, that's what we all did over years, and we'll help you do it, you know. And I'd love to see you back with your next build, and we'll see what else you and it can do and have a good time, and, you know, that kind of a thing. So we're going to do some cleanups. I've been talking to Solve, I've been talking to ODF, I've been talking to a lot of y'all at the meets and in person and that sort of a thing, and there's a big interest in that. I am going to do some of them pre-registered through the website, and you guys know that you can always pre-register through Solve, which makes it easier for us to fill out waivers when we're on site. If we've got to fill out 3 pieces of paper for each person that wants to volunteer, it takes a long time to get you through registration for a volunteer event, which stinks for everyone. So you guys can volunteer through Solve, but I'm also going to start putting them on the website, on the Rider Revival website, so that you guys can register there and bring an actual QR code ticket with you. And then I will also know, as the event coordinator, literally how many people are serious about it. So look for that going forward, which also leads me into the next thing I was going to talk about, which is the Facebook events. When we post a Facebook event, the problem that I've been having, and you guys probably seen, some of you probably seen me throw a shout out there. Can you like actually push the going button if you guys are going? Let me touch on that, and you can hear my words and see my face when I talk about this. Okay. And this kind of goes into our culture, so I'll touch about it a little bit there. I'm an old school forum user guy, so I kind of, you know, I'm used to this different way of doing things, and with the way Facebook and social media kind of changed our connectivity, it makes it hard for event coordinators to really get their heads wrapped around who's actually a concrete hardcore part of the community, who's there to just support and follow you, and who's there aspiring to be more for themselves and be more for the community and grow the community. And what I mean by that is the going button, the interested button, the can't go, maybe. Please, for me as the event coordinator, it makes it so hard. Like on a Monday night meetups, for example, I got 3 people in the going category. I got 45 in the interested category. One month I show up and there's 10 cars in the parking lot. Same story the next month, and the parking lot's full. And I just need to know a little bit more information from you guys, so that way I can set the event accordingly. If we're only going to have 10 cars, then I don't need to worry about cleaning up the gravel parking lot and making sure that you guys got space for the Jeeps and the 4-wheel drives. But if we're going to fill the parking lot up and we're all going to bring a bunch of Jeeps and stuff out there, hell yeah, I'll bring all mine too. But the streetcar guys need a place to park their lowered cars with the arrow and the lips and their low exhaust and bags and that kind of a thing. And I want to respect both of y'all. We're a diverse community. So I just need some help with that, showing me on who's going and who's not going. If you actually decide that, oh yeah, I'm actually going to make this Monday night meetup, I don't need to send you to send me a PM. Just go back and hit that going button, or jump back into the discussion on the event and throw a picture up of your ride that says, hey bro, I'll see you there. You know, that just gives me a little bit of a heads up to know, okay, this guy's coming and he might be bringing his homies. Cool. Maybe we'll need a bigger parking lot. That'd be cool too. I've filled a lot of them. The new trail in the TSF. Saddle Up, trail number 16. We're getting the big section of Saddle Up with the hill climb and the rocks that goes across the ravine over there at the top of Crushers. If you guys don't know exactly where I'm at, come out to the event that I'm about to post and we'll take you up there when we hang the sign. Even though your rig may not be trail capable, it may not be, you know, ATV capable, the roads into camp are gravel roads, and the roads all the way up to the trailhead are gravel roads. So if you can drive a gravel road and you can swerve around a pothole here and there, your streetcar will make it all the way up there. If you want to come out and you want to participate and you want to see what it's going to look like to put in some volunteer hours there. It's just like the Adopt a Highway program. For those of you that don't know, we adopted a trail and now we go out and we take the heat off of ODF and we'll go out and we'll make sure that we check the trail. We're going to maintain it for erosion, for illegal bypasses. If we want to do any modifications to the trail, we just run that through ODF and see if, you know, get approval for our modifications, and then we can make modifications to the trail. And then we track our volunteer hours and turn those volunteer hours into ODF, and ODF uses those at the state and federal level to reimburse themselves for funding to keep the trail systems open. So it's a big circle and it's all encompassing, and I don't care if you got a streetcar, a Jeep, a buggy, a shuttle bus, an RV, motorhome, load that shit up and come on out. I would love to see you and I'd love to show you how this works, because this is literally how our trails stay open. So if you guys want to come out, it's going to be informal trail sign hanging because the sign's down. He said it's our trail, and then we'll do the official adoption and walk through sometime at a later date. I'm working with Reed at ODF on when that date is actually going to be, but for right now he gave us the go ahead to go up there and get a sign hung up on it. So you guys want to participate, be watching the shop page and watching the community group page for the event to pop up. Jump in there, hit the going button, hit the maybe button, and then drop me a comment somewhere in there so I know that you're kind of hanging around, or you know what it looks like. Future events. Right now, I would love you Limitless Road Rally guys are watching. I've been thinking about y'all, and I think some of you know that. It goes back to my club affiliation thing. Look, I'd love to put on a road rally. I would love to do something out here on the west side of the state, maybe even take it over to the coast, down through the farmlands, the valley, maybe Lick, California. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas when it comes to that. My problem here is that I don't want to host it by myself and act like and make you guys feel like that I'm stepping on y'all's toes by not getting y'all involved. But my fear is that if I try to do something and involve myself with what you guys got going on, or ask you to help me do something, that somehow wires are going to get crossed there, and I don't want to burn the bridge and relationship of friendship and networking that we've started already at this point, because I have such a strong aspiration to do a road rally or a streetcar loop. I've done a streetcar loop before. It was very similar to your guys' like Oktoberfest. We just went out on one day and did a big loop, and the people that came were cool with it. But what I'm talking about is doing something to the next level, and kind of like what you guys did, but clean up some of the shortcomings that I saw as a participant and an event coordinator. And try to do something really big and that would take it to the next level. But I'm fearful of working with y'all because I don't want to step on y'all's toes or rub feathers, you know. I think we could do something big, and also I don't want to do it by myself and just pop out of nowhere and be like, oh yeah, no, I'm doing a road rally after I've been to y'all's for 2 years and been talking to you guys about it. So I'd love to do a road rally. If y'all are watching, you got ideas, you want to reach out, you want to come by, you want me to come over there, like, I'm serious, dude, like, just hit me up. Trophy challenge. I know there's probably some people out there curious about what happened with Trophy Challenge. I barely pulled it off the year before. As you guys know, I lost my big shop, and I'm lucky to even be in business. I'm lucky to be able to say that I can feed my family after what happened right before Trophy Challenge last year. after we got the event, I think it was a kick-ass event. It went off almost perfectly in my eyes. There was a handful of things that I wished I could have controlled a little bit better in the heat of the moment. But as an event coordinators and as trophy challenge people, you know how hard that is in the moment to control all those, that last handful of things that you want to control. So I'm willing to accept that we had a kick-ass event. Yeah, it could have been better, but is there any reason to cry on our spilt milk about it? No, hell no, there's not. It was a great event. Afterwards, I needed personal recovery time, my business needed recovery time, my events needed recovery time, and I was out on the next year. And some of the, coordination stuff didn't work out the way it was supposed to after the fact. It's really tough to keep everyone all on the same page when you're from multiple entities and you have multiple opinions and that kind of a thing. And like I said about the road rally, I don't want to ruffle feathers, and I was still in a point where I couldn't fully commit to doing it myself or to taking the lead reins like I did the year before. And so it was one of those things where I just had to be like, I got a passion and I got a vision, but I'm not enabled this year personally to be able to jump in with Oregon Trophy Challenge like I did last year to make it what I think I could make it. And because of that, I had to step back. And when I stepped back, the coordinators had their own ball of problems, which everyone has problems when you do events, and they just couldn't pull it off on their own. Is what it is. I got no negative things to say, about any of that crap. Like, I know how it is, and I know how much everybody put into it, and so Trophy Challenge just didn't work out. Am I going to look at doing Trophy Challenge in the future? I'm not sure at this point. It was never something that I wanted to take over. It was just another event that I was trying to help the community out with. So that's kind of where I'm at with Trophy Challenge. It's not dead, but I'm not involved with it anymore. And in the future, we'll see what that turns into. I appreciate y'all's involvement. I appreciate you guys coming and supporting the event. And man, for the competitors and volunteers, what a killer ass event that was last year. So we're gonna do another car show at the Wings and a Prayer Alpaca Farm. I think this year we'll probably do it a paid fundraising style car show, and maybe we'll get some t-shirts and some trophies. And let you guys register for an actual judged event, and then we'll use that fundraising for future solve cleanups and for our project in the TSF with our trail. I've got a lot of goals and aspirations, and there's a lot of history with that trail, so as we move forward we're going to need some financial backing. And as you guys know, my bread and butter comes from work, and so if we can generate some funds on the side to help pay for our extracurriculars while you guys volunteer, I think it would be a real good way to keep the community involved and keep going on that culture thing. Next year I would like to run 4th of July in Independence, Oregon. It's Independence Day in Independence, Oregon. I know that I grew up here, so I got a biased perspective, but I'll be honest with y'all, I've been to a lot of different Independence Day celebrations in a lot of different states and cities, and the way this town does it and the way it kind of just shuts down, and there's only one main road that goes through town, and it's literally like a 2.5 hour parade and all day, all night kind of festivities. Like, it's about Independence Day in Independence, Oregon, and I would love to invite some of the community members out to run the parade with me. I'd like to get some client vehicles together to run the parade with us so that we can showcase my work, we can showcase the community, we can showcase Solve, we can hang some banners for our socials, you guys can hang your banners for your socials if you guys do individual stuff like that. Fireman breakfast at first thing in the morning, get the parade, come back after the parade, eat some barbecue, hang out in the backyard. Put it into the festival, get some food, watch the fireworks. It's a killer fireworks show. Then we come back after that, and you guys can disperse. You guys can camp in my backyard, camp in the front yard, camp in the shop. We'll shoot some fireworks off with the kids, maybe have a barbecue, drink some brews, whatever. I mean, we might be sardines at the house, but I would love to do something like that with y'all next year for 4th of July. We lost the GoPro. Sorry. So yeah, I would love to invite y'all out for 4th of July next year. Be looking for it, be talking about it, drop some comments and we can discuss it here shortly. Monday night meetups, I would like to, we've been doing that for 6 years now, so I would like to try to morph that maybe into something a little bit different, maybe at least keep it local. I'm looking at maybe a cruise loop out of town. We could like meet at the Starduster at 7 and then have like say 20 to 50 different places here locally that we could cruise out to and stop, take pictures, and then cruise to the next place, stop, take pictures, and then, you know, maybe do GPS coordinates or photo scavenger hunt or that kind of a thing. Or the other thing that I thought about doing was trying to start a local like Friday night, Saturday night gut kind of cruise. When I thought about different cities and different locations, and I think maybe we ought to just try it in this little town of Independence out here and see if you guys could, you know, challenge the business owners to stay open, challenge the community to come out and cruise through the town and stop at one of the restaurants and get a cheeseburger, while park the cars in the front yard and have a barbecue out. You just stop by and have a brewski, and you can watch people go up and down. See a car we want to go check out, we can jump in, cruise down, follow them. I already know some people that are affiliated with law enforcement, locally and semi-locally, so I feel like that we could try to do this the right way. I know several business owners, I know several of the people in the municipalities. I could do my part and try to reach out to those guys and try to network and slowly kind of build this little spider web of thing. If you guys want to help me try to create this new like cruise night in Independence, to where we can go support the businesses and they'll allow us to use the streets, and we can make a loop around town, you know. We've got to keep our etiquette like we always have, keep the engine revs and the tire spinning and no racing and that kind of a thing. But I don't know. You guys let me think. Let me know what you think, if that seems like something that maybe we could evolve into. I don't know. So this is the part where I need to ask for some of you guys' help. I built the group, like I said earlier, to be separated from my shop work, mainly so that my members don't feel solicited by me. I didn't want to use it ever as a marketing avenue. But you know, to be honest with you, I asked some questions here recently in the community, and you know, there's a difference in this community between, there's a difference in the world now that we live in between a community, a group, a forum, and following someone. So the help that I need from you guys is that what I'm looking for and what I'm saying is, you know, this community was formed to bring like-minded people together and learn, and be together and that sort of thing. And so I need your guys' help that, like, when, you know, I post an event out there, it's not just for you, it's not just for me. Like, I'm literally trying to bring people together and affect culture with this thing that I'm doing. And if it wasn't for that, I would be promoting my shop page, because that's where my bread and butter comes from. I would be pushing swag on you guys. I would be pushing buy my stickers. You know, you'd see advertisements on everything that I did, and I'm not trying to be that way. You know, I post to my personal, to my shop page and my community when I do events, and I really want you guys to understand that, like, I'm doing this to bring everyone together. People from, you know, I've known for a long time because I've been in the area forever, people that I just met, people that may follow me that I haven't met yet. I'm looking for, you know, all of y'all to come out and invite one another and talk about it and share it. And then when you get home, come back to the group and post the pictures in the group. It's a public group for a reason. If you come to the group and you post into the public group, then we can see those posts and we can share those posts back out of the group to our personal page, and we can say, hey, look at what we did for the weekend, and I met this really cool guy. That doesn't have to be in full frontal. You can use the group as a small private platform to just connect with people that you meet in the group. And the more people that I can convince to take pictures from their perspective and then come back to the group and post those, to one another and not rely upon me so much to do all the documentation with the community, it'll really spawn this culture of wanting to be involved and wanting to talk to those people and take pictures and videos and then share from your side so that they can see their rig and you can see your rig from someone else's perspective, a video and a picture. We can talk about how we camped together and what we learned, and you know, and all that stuff starts within the Facebook community or the forum, which nobody uses the forum right now, and that's fine. Well, we're going to do it through Facebook. That's cool. But it starts with participation, and I feel like that as of late, that the community has grown into a followers page. What I mean by that is that you guys like to come and hang out with me. You know that, you know, I'll be accommodating and hospitable, and that's all true. But if that's all there was to it, I would just cancel the community and I would just have a shop page and a personal page, and you guys can just follow me and come out and hang out like I'm a Cletus McFarlane or something like that. Like, you guys just want to come and think I'm a cool kid. That's not what the community is about for me. So I'm asking for your guys' help with that part of it. In order to take the next step of this thing, I need your guys' support in posting and sharing and talking with one another. And if your mom looks like she's interested, tell her, Mom, throw your sleeping bag in and come out and hang out with these guys for the night, for the day, you know, and then you can go home, you know, jump on the group and see what we got going on, you know, that sort of a thing. I'm not aspiring to it for marketing purposes. I'm aspiring to it to build a community. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. It looks like it's a pretty long video at this point, but you know, sometimes when we sit down and we talk about things, it takes a minute to get it all out there. So anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a champ. I love you. Really looking forward to getting this culture built up and getting this thing moving and rolling and getting the cohesiveness back into this group. And I know we're capable of it. We've done some amazing things even with like 400 and 500 members, and we're already up to like 800 members now. So, you know, if we can get this stickiness going again and get the ball rolling, I really think that there's good, big things in our future. And I don't mean that for me, I mean that for all of us. So anyway, much love, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here, get this edited, get it posted. Appreciate all the new followers, all the new views. Make sure you check the links in the description. Hit those buttons for me, like, subscribe, share, drop me a comment. It's all the things that I need to say to y'all to get you to remember for me. So anyway, much love, guys. Y'all take care. Thanks for being here.